Good morning, everyone. We begin reading the Torah portion of Noach today. Now, Noach, the Torah tells us, was a tzaddik, a perfectly righteous individual. But yet, he is not the first Jewish leader. It is only Abraham who becomes the patriarch of the Jewish nation. If Noach was righteous, why was he not chosen to be the first Jew? And our rabbis use the following term. They say, Noach was a tzaddik in pelts. Pelts is a Russian word for a fur coat. So Noach was a tzaddik in a fur coat. What does that mean? So rabbis explain there are two ways to keep yourself warm. One is put on a fur coat. Another solution is to light a fire in the room to keep yourself warm. The difference is when you put on a fur coat, only you are warm. Everyone else in the room remains cold. But when you light a fire, you warm up everyone else. So too our rabbis say there are two types of righteous individuals. One keeps themselves warm and not concerned about everyone else. However, the greater tzaddik is the one who lights a fire and warms everyone in his environment, in his surroundings. Noach was a tzaddik, but he built an ark, went into it, and didn't save anyone else with him. He let everyone else drown. However, Abraham, in next week's Torah portion, is the one who creates a fire that warms the world until today. And so when we look around the world and we see the situations that we encounter, we always have to ask ourselves, how can we be a tzaddik that warms up our environment? You know, Kanye West has been spewing terrible anti-Semitic statements. And you may say, well, he's deranged, he didn't take his medication, he's a lunatic, all of which is true. But the fact of the matter is, he has over 30 million followers on Twitter and 18 million on Instagram. That's double the amount of Jews that there are in the world. So thank God he was banned from those social media platforms. But there are many people who could be influenced by the terrible things he's been saying, and therefore he needs to be silenced. But the question is, what does that have to teach you and I? And what that has to teach us is that if someone else is out there, anti-Semites who are spewing hatred towards the Jewish people, telling Jews that they're vile or despised, or God forbid, some of the things he's been saying, then we have to counter that by spreading love amongst our fellow Jews. We have to tell our fellow Jews, you're loved by God, you're loved by the Jewish people. We have to build up and tell Jews how special and great they are to counteract those voices of negativity, of hatred. We have to dispel the darkness by increasing love. Let me give you a great example of how that's done. It just happened this Friday. Palm Beach Synagogue had a delegation that went to Atlanta and had a beautiful Shabbaton and is now today participating in the Atlanta Kosher Barbecue Competition with our team of Palm Beach Synagogue, and the name of our team is Burnt Offerings. And God willing, they'll come back with trophies the way they did last year. On the Spirit airline flight, Rabbi Yossi Dworkin was traveling with his family, and there was a flight attendant, a male flight attendant, and he started talking to him, and he discovered that he's Jewish. He asked him, what's your name? Where were you born? He said, I was born in Russia. He said, did you have a bar mitzvah? He said, no, I never had a bar mitzvah. I didn't even know anything about Judaism. I just knew I was Jewish, and my mother's Jewish. Rabbi Dworkin was taking his tefillin with him on the trip, of course. He had his tefillin on the flight. He said, would you like to put on tefillin? The flight attendant said, where? He said, we could do it right here. He said, I would love to put on tefillin. I've never done that mitzvah before, and I could have a bar mitzvah right here in the air. Went to the front of the plane, and Sarah snapped a picture, which I saw. And here you see this flight attendant in his Spirit airline uniform at the front of the plane with hundreds of passengers watching him, puts on his tefillin, and he's standing there with his tefillin on, and he's saying the Shema, covering his eyes in mid-air, having his bar mitzvah. And when he finished, he thanked Rabbi Dworkin, and he said to Yossi, I want you to know I've been working for Spirit Airlines for 6 years, and today was the highlight of my career. Sadly, there are many Jews that all they know about being Jewish is that they're hated, that the anti-Semites say and do the worst things towards the Jewish people. It is our obligation to counter that message of hatred with a message of love for every Jew by telling them who they are, where they come from, their rich ancestral history, and their special mission and purpose in this world. Have a wonderful day.